Today on the show, what advice do we have to make a marriage last? Our advice might surprise you.
We watch a censored clip of the most realistic-looking video game you have ever seen, and it is horrifying.
Plus, 64% of Americans don't exercise, like at all.
All this and more on episode 5 of the Blimey podcast.
Now, Josh, I've got a real problem that I need help with.
Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thanks to our new supporters at supportblimeycow.com. Those folks are the Felix family and the American Donut Wizard.
Josh, I've got a really big problem. I am subscribed to Audible, okay? Am I allowed to talk about Audible?
I guess, yeah. They haven't sponsored us in a while.
That's fine. No, but I actually pay for their service.
I do too.
Okay, well, there you go. And so I buy like a big chunk. For the year, I buy 12 credits.
Okay.
And I haven't used 8 of them.
Okay.
And the day is...
Oh, they all expire at the same time?
They're all going to be expired.
Oh, see,
tomorrow. The next, or 2 days from now. So I need help. Comment down below what books you think I should buy.
A wave of stress just
I
came
know,
over me.
man. It's been stressing me out.
I get stressed because I just pay monthly, and so mine, it's like every month it's like, oh, one of your credits is about to expire, and I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna get?
No, it's I'm in a real pickle. So help me, please. Comment below.
Brother.
Give me some suggestions. I like autobiographies. I like history. I like science and things like that.
All right, let's look at some memes.
This is what my hands look like every time I come in from outside. And then one time I saw a tweet from somebody who said, can you people just please clean your nails? And it's like, you don't realize when you, like, this is called manual labor. Like, what do you do? Ever heard of it? Have you know how hard it is? Like, when that's caked in your, I mean, you'd be spending 2 hours trying. So there's always going to be a little bit.
You got to wait for the fingernails to grow out and just kind of kick that dirt out on its own.
Yeah, it was just it was a sick tweet, Josh. Me praying for fast food. Lord bless the hands that prepared this meal. The hands that prepared this meal. Yeah. I can relate to this.
Here's my other meme for you.
When someone is grilling you about whether homeschooling makes one socially awkward while ignoring all social cues and boundaries. Yeah, and they're like all up in your face. They're like, why aren't you in school?
I feel like we used to get this more when we were younger. But as we got older, it wasn't as prevalent. And I who knows what it's like now. But this is a current meme, so I guess this is a thing that still happens. It's so obnoxious. Especially after we've all been through a pandemic together, you know?
Yeah, it's like we should be unified.
Yeah, and also
we're the survivors.
everybody was out of school for a while, so what do you mean?
Yeah, no one,
look,
no,
what do you mean you don't know why I'm here?
They can't say anything anymore. I have
to stay out of school for 2 weeks. I tested positive. Why are you here then?
I'm still positive.
Student, conference speaker, they met yesterday. Youth leader who has been there every week for 3 years. Yeah.
It's been a long fight. And I just had to have a warrior spirit. And so I'm just...
That was good. That was good. Always nice to open the show with a few funny memes.
Josh, you got a new game for us on 2 Can Play That Game.
2 Can Play That Game. This game is called Wavelength.
Great game.
Here's how you play. We're going to spin this wheel. Then one of us, not showing the other person, is going to open the wheel and see where the mark is. Then you're gonna look at a card. This card says need versus want. And then I am gonna say, all right, something that is a need versus a want. So I need to think of something that is more of a need, but still kind of a want. So I'll give Jordan an example and say a relationship. Sure.
I would put it right in the middle.
Okay, so Jordan would then say, right, let's see, need versus want, relationship.
Now the chances of getting it this good is, not high, but pretty good.
And he got it in.
Amazing.
Okay, and then Jordan gets some points. So we'll play a couple of rounds of these each, and we'll see who gets the most points. You guys ready to play? Here we go. Poorly made, well made.
And close your eyes at home, too, if you want to guess with me and then tell me how I botched it.
Nintendo Joy-Cons.
Like for the Wii?
No, for the Switch.
They
snap in.
Man, I've had a lot of trouble with Joy-Cons. I've even stolen one of yours.
That's true.
All right, we're gonna. I'm thinking right here.
Right there?
Yeah, 100%. No question about it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, 0 points for you.
What the heck? This.
I was playing into your bias of having so much trouble.
Oh, see, I was trying
with the Joy-Con.
Okay, well, I should have understood that. Oh well. Let me give Josh a better clue. We have rare versus common. Finding a dime on the street. Common, rare.
Right. You're freaking me out. Why would you say a dime?
That's what you gotta assess here, Josh.
I'm gonna put it right in the middle. I don't really know why. It's kind of close.
I said because a common thing would be a penny. You're finding pennies left and right. A dime is gonna be a quarter is here. A dollar. I mean, you're all the way over here.
Okay.
I found a $20 bill one time on the ground.
Wow, lucky for you.
I was a little kid, and I was a nice little kid, and I said to the man who was standing, I said, "Is this your $20?" And he looked around, looked totally like he was just a teenager, just looked totally blank. He was like, "Yeah." Took it from me, and I realized that I had gotten duped after I went to mom. I was like, wait a minute.
You find a 20, you keep the 20.
Yeah, that's what I realized.
The bottom line is, anybody you give that 20 to, there's a chance they're lying to you. Mm-hmm. We both get one more each, okay?
So most likely, Josh, one of us is not going to score points. So if I score points, let's just say I win.
It's weak versus strong. Someone who does 5 push-ups a week.
Are you trying to... Okay, only 5, not every day. They're only doing 5 push-ups
5 push-ups twice a week.
Okay, 5 push-ups.
And these are correct push-ups.
Only 5 twice a week, and they're only doing 1 set.
2 sets.
What the?
2 sets twice a week, and they're doing them correctly.
And they're only doing 5. Dude, I mean, you want my opinion? Only 2 sets? 5 times a week? 2 sets 5
correctly.
times?
Correct push-ups.
I feel like
those are worth like double.
Are we trying to assess Josh's performance? I don't understand what's going on. Okay, so honestly, I would be right here. I would be right there. Now, if we're trying to inflate Josh's ego, if he's doing 2 sets here. Kidding. Josh, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to go with my gut feeling. We're going there.
I figured
what are you
that's
saying?
More than most people do. So you're kind of right in between weak and strong.
I was almost gonna. I literally put it right there as a joke. Well, guys, this is going horribly.
All right, all I have to do is score points here, and I'm the big winner.
That's what I said. So
people are gonna say these are not the kind of people who should play this game. That's what they're gonna say.
What are the kinds of people who should play it?
People who don't overthink literally everything.
We've got looks like a person, doesn't look like a person.
Okay.
Koala bear. You have to assess.
I think koala bears do kind of look like people. But not that much. Maybe like right here.
You gotta be kidding me.
Wow, guys, we really saved this. I was like, are we even gonna be able to use this segment? We'll use this segment.
I'm happy with my clue.
Any other kind of like bear, I would have said no, like a polar bear doesn't really look like a person, but a koala bear. Mm-hmm. Koala bear. There you go.
Now, guys, no matter what kind of project you're starting, like us with this YouTube channel or me with my podcast, or this podcast even, Josh, you need a good-looking site to let people know your project is worth taking seriously. We've tried many, many different platforms over the years, and the best one by far that we've used is Squarespace.
Squarespace makes everything simple. You can create an online store selling physical, digital, or service products easily. Plus, you can create custom merch, Jordan. You can print on demand.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
They even handle shipping for you.
Wow, I actually might utilize that.
I know.
They have flexible website templates no matter what kind of site you want to create, whether it's a blog, portfolio, web store, or whatever else you need. They all look great, and you can customize them to do whatever you want.
So let me ask you, what kind of project are you ready to start? A podcast like us, maybe a shop, whatever it is, it's time to finally build that website you've been putting off.
Squarespace helps us run our businesses, and they can help you too. If you want your own space on the web, Do it with Squarespace.
Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/cow, because there you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That's squarespace.com/cow.
Oh, we got some feedback from the last episode.
We do.
Let's do it. If you want your comments read on the show, feel free to comment below on this video and say something nice or mean about what you thought about this episode. Here's what someone said. This is Anthony Aggins. I'm enjoying the podcast format. Really have to look into that pyramid stuff. It sounds interesting.
It's amazing what you can convince people of if you just say it in a YouTube video. Because they can't argue back. A cute, very fun, pretty easy puzzle is Cat in Japan. What did they mean easy puzzle? Like
I think it's a puzzle game.
Oh.
We were talking about The Witness last week.
Highly recommended if you want a game that is difficult enough to make you think, but not hard enough to frustrate you. I love puzzle games and will definitely play The Witness and Bob Is You.
Always looking for good puzzle games, so I will check out Cat in Japan. Thank you,
Japan.
Maddie. This is from Classic Will L. He says, I know folks who are married and live with other friends as well. Okay.
So, Josh, you're not alone. Your thoughts.
I almost texted you to say, hey, maybe just take out the part where I said that they should live with their parents. I don't want to look like a loser. But people commented and said, yeah, I know people who have done that.
But do you...
I mean, look, in this economy, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. You might know people, but do you respect those people who did that?
I mean...
That's the question that you've got to ask. I'm not giving an answer. I'm just saying that's why you were scared to throw it out.
Yeah.
To throw out your
Well,
opinion.
I just didn't want people to say, wow, he's such a prude. He's saying that they should live with their parents instead of just
sucking
have
it
some
up.
fun.
Josh, music. Get the kids in music programs. I saw this. They were saying that if you get the kids in music program, then it helps them with math.
Yeah, so last week we were talking about my son is into math, and Melissa here says, I mean, I get it, I guess, but that's interesting. What do you think about this?
No, I mean, it's definitely, I would say it's definitely true. Not just like playing music like I play by ear, but like actually learning music theory.
Yeah.
That's very mathy. So
Okay.
I can definitely see that.
Okay.
Definitely
Cool.
see that.
All right, very good. Well, thank you all for the comments.
There was a funny comment that said something. I'm not going to be able to quote this exactly, but it said something like they were new to the podcast and they were like, I kind of like this. That was all that it said. You have to find that. I can't remember what it said.
All right, Jordan, let's get to the message. We got a short and sweet one this week, Jordan. Would you like to read it?
Sure. Hey, Jordan and Josh. I'm getting married in a few months to my fiance. I'm super excited. 2 exclamation marks. What is some advice that you have for newlyweds to make the marriage last?
Advice for newlyweds. I thought this might be fun to talk about.
It would be fun, Josh.
Jordan, you just celebrated your 6th anniversary.
I know, and now it's all falling apart after 6 years. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's going great. I mean, we both work from home, see each other 24/7, still doing great.
Still at
Like
it.
I don't understand. Like we see our friends, like Sarah, might go to something and she's talking with a girl she just met, and they're just making a little banter,
Just a little banter. Just a
and they're
little
talking
banter.
about how, oh yeah, if they find out that Sarah works from home and so do I, and then
what's that like?
yeah, and then they literally tell her, I could not be with my husband if I had to be there 24/7.
I could barely be with him when he gets home.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad.
Is that true?
Yes, no, we hear this often. More than once. That's often to me. Is more than once. If I've heard that more than once.
See, Kelly, but it's probably the same for you because you work outside a lot. So
Yeah.
there'll be, there'll be times Kelly and I get into bed at the end of the night and we're just like talking, and we've both been in this house all day, but we didn't see each other.
Yeah.
I'm usually down here working, you
Yeah.
know, and she's up there with the kids.
I don't know.
And if I go up, I'm like, hey, I'll hang out with the kids. You can go get some stuff done or take a break or whatnot. So yeah, we might not get to talk until the end of the night. I don't know, but I would like to see her more. It's not like this is great. I only have to deal with this once a day.
But what do we get? We got to give some advice, Josh. That's the point of this. What would to make newlyweds marriages last? Newlyweds.
Yeah. I think that it's helpful to know that the first year is gonna be difficult because you're kind of learning each other And I think that's like, I think if you go into it knowing that, it's not that bad. But if you go into it thinking, this is great, I'm so excited, it's very easy to get like scared or disappointed. Like, oh no, is this working? It's like, yeah, you've literally made like the biggest life change of your entire life. It's going to be hard for a while.
I think that, I don't know, like I've always heard that the first year is difficult, but I just, like the first year, it wasn't, and I don't know why, it just wasn't difficult. And I'm wondering if it's because me and Sarah had been together for so long that we were already it was almost like we were married because we were making so many decisions together for so long.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, now we're married. And the only thing that changes is that we're literally with each other 24/7. But we basically almost were because we saw each other every single day and constantly made decisions with each other as if we were. So that's what I think.
I think you went into it with the right attitude. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I've just talked to people who are like, this is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've heard that so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you went into it thinking it was like life was going to be perfect once you got married, then yeah, you probably are having a hard time. But like, if you're having to like make decisions with another person and include them in what's going on and what you're doing at all times.
If you're not used to that, or if you're not the kind of person who's willing to do that, that's where I think people struggle because they're so set in their way of doing things.
Right.
Just, I think it really it opens up the cracks of like you.
That's what I'm saying.
It shows you how you. How set you are in what you do, and then you kind of realize that it's kind of clownish that you're like that. And it's like, why do I do that?
Right.
What does it really matter that much that I've been doing this the same way for 25 years?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And if you're easily able to get over that, then everything's great. But if you're not and you're hard-headed and that's really that you are right when it comes to just little stupid stuff, then it's going to be a total disaster. Yeah. So I think that if you can just get over that, that will be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also, I think, depends, too. You said 25, and I got married when I was 21. So I think it also partially depends how long. I mean, you and I both just lived at home, and then but I had fewer years doing that than you did. So so it's good that you're that way because you could have been more set in your ways than I was. I was like out finishing college. So
that's true. Yeah.
I was already in the middle of a life change anyway. So it was perfect. It was like, okay, I'm done with school now and I'm getting married and moving out.
That's true.
But you finished school and you were still at home for a little bit.
For a while, yeah.
Saving that cash. You guys could have just stayed at mom and dad's house.
Yeah, we could have taken your advice from last week. Who knows where I would be at now.
Any other thoughts and prayers?
No, but just I think if people can just learn to be able to talk to each other with an open mind and not even if the other person is wrong, okay. But like just being able to talk with each other and not making the other person feel stupid. I think that that goes so far. I don't even care who's right.
Yeah.
Like just being able to speak with each other, that just makes a healthy environment.
Yeah.
Especially for kids too.
Oh yeah.
Even if you disagree, who cares? But if you can discuss things together, that is everything. Kids don't remember when their parents fight. They remember when their parents made up. That's like
interesting.
It's not that they don't remember it, but it doesn't matter if parents fight in front of kids. It matters if the parents make up in front of the kids.
Well, probably the kind of fighting that you're talking about. If we're talking about like yelling and screaming and stuff.
Yeah, I mean like a huge, like a big disagreement where tempers are like high and you can feel that tension.
Right.
If the parents make up in front of the kids, then it like negates that because they're like, oh, it's actually almost healthy.
Right. Oh,
because
you had a conflict and you resolved it.
Oh, my family isn't gonna get torn apart when my parents fight. Because if your whole life is, I don't want my parents to fight because wow, that's never happened before.
Right.
What's gonna happen if that happens? You know.
Yeah.
So just be able to talk with each other. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think because we had so much trouble having kids, but I think in a way it was a benefit because it's like, we got to work out all of our communication stuff for the most part before we had kids, but I still feel like it's good to have kids younger. Like I wish we had kids younger because I would be younger and would get to see them longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that makes me sad to think about, but also at the same time, it's like, well, I know that they're having a good existence. I don't know, but then part of it is until you're in the middle of it, it's hard to give advice to because it's like you don't know. It's just hard. Anyways, okay. Jordan, got a great top 10 for you this week. Somebody commented, I should have included this in feedback. They said they liked it when we went back and forth.
Yeah,
Did you
let's
see
just
this?
do that.
Okay.
I liked that too.
All right.
It felt right when I was editing last week.
Okay.
It felt better.
Read these together. Here's your top 10 for the week. Number 10. You get notified that your average screen time per day is 5 hours, and you think, oh, that's better than last week.
Yeah, when I made my waking up at 5 a.m. is changing my life, I said that my screen time was 3 hours, and I had this huge awakening, and people were like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Mine's like 8.
Yeah.
And they were literally saying theirs was 8 hours a day.
I've never been that high. I remember, like, if it gets up to 5, I think, all right, I need to. But then also throughout the day, you think about it, it's like, okay, well, I drove to Gatlinburg this week, so I had my phone on. You know what I mean? Like, it includes that screen time, too.
Yeah, I know. I wish that you could take that out. So
I
it
know.
wouldn't do GPS. It wouldn't do if you have your calculator out,
Yeah.
if you're using that for
Like,
school.
like, have an app that just says, hey, just the times I'm stupid using my phone.
Yeah.
Not times
exactly.
where I'm like, I need it for a calculator or something, or, you know.
Yeah.
Like as if
glitches it.
I'm addicted to just like using my calculator. I'm
Addicted
addicted
to
to like
adding.
looking at GPS.
Sine, cosine. Number 9, you haven't had a BM in 10 years and didn't involve scrolling social media. What is it?
That didn't involve.
Oh, BM. I got you, John.
I was trying to be discreet.
IBM.
No, like a bowel movement.
But IBM is irritable bowel.
I thought
it?
you meant IBM, like the
IBS.
computer company.
Well, that's the joke.
Irritable
Anytime I hear IBM, I think of that, even though it's not
irritable
that.
bowel movements.
I don't know.
That's not what you want. I've never. Well, that's ruined now. Okay.
that visual.
Number 8, your significant other would be mad at you for your screen time, but she's the one you're texting most of the time. You're both doomed.
Yeah. If only we could go back to the days where it was just texting.
I know.
And
Yeah.
and it was like, I'm spending too much time texting you. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
you are.
But pretty
It's gonna get
soon,
worse.
it's going to get much worse, so enjoy this time.
But also stop.
You haven't experienced an awkward silence in years, just a neck ache. It's a good one, Josh.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you'd get that or not.
No, I do.
Number 6, you keep your status listed as away on Discord to hide your shame.
For how much you're on it.
Yeah.
Number 5, you once scrolled Instagram for 3 straight hours. You have done it every day since, but there was a first time too. Do people do that?
Scroll Instagram for 3
Surely
hours?
not.
Oh, yeah. Look, they'll keep recommending stuff to you all day if you ask them to. Just keep on scrolling. God help you. Number 4, on Sunday, your phone informs you that you spend an average of 8 hours a day on your phone, and you think that pills will cure your depression.
Number 3, you once took a break from social media, aka you stopped posting and creeped on everyone for a week. That is...
Or 12 hours, like however long
yeah,
you lasted.
whatever you needed.
Number 2, you haven't looked at porn in 12 minutes.
Number 1, you are worried that 8 hours wasn't enough. So once you get in bed, you stare at your phone for 2 more hours just to be safe. That's what you do, Josh, with the Titanic videos. You got to keep those Titanic videos recommended.
It came from a true place.
It did.
came
I
from a
could
true
read that.
place. All right, we're about to introduce to you now a new segment. It's called, Is This Good News or Bad News? We're going to discuss something that maybe seems like it's good news or obviously seems like bad news. We're going to try to talk about it and see if we can see a silver lining or maybe just make you depressed about something that seems like it should be okay.
This is something, what we're going to talk about right now, is something that I forever thought, man, that would be so cool. You know, when we're kids playing video games, I thought that would be so cool if a video game literally looks indistinguishable from reality. You're playing Madden, you're playing football, you want it to look real. You want the hits to look real. Well, I found a video of a new game that is coming out.
I don't even know how much of this we can show.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Because it's
because
I'm worried
like,
it's going to get
you
age
just
restricted
show
or something.
this. Just at least
Yeah.
show this. When you see that, when you saw that first scene of that walking into the building,
Yeah.
I thought that was real.
Right.
And I saw it was a video game. So I was like, okay, this is just like a cutscene, and then it's going to go to the video game.
And I'll tell you what makes this look real. It's the lighting effects going in outside to inside, the camera, like the ISO going, boosting up really quickly. It's the camera movements that just look realistic. Like, I mean, if you actually pause it and look at the actual game itself, like it's almost like out of focus.
Yeah, they were really good at figuring out what makes a video game not look real,
Yeah.
and then they did the body cam thing and everything to make it look distorted,
So-
like you're seeing something that's distorted in real life that is real. And they did a great job at making it, man.
So this is called Unrecord. It's an upcoming single-player first-person shooter that tells a story of a tactical police officer from the perspective of a body cam. But I'll tell you what, Jordan had the same reaction to this that I did when I first saw it. He texted me this week. He was like, have you seen that game that looks real? And I knew exactly what he was talking about. And he said, what did you say to me? You said something like, it made me realize...
I said it was the first time that I actually thought that a video game might desensitize somebody to doing something bad.
Right. It makes like Grand Theft Auto seem like a joke. Like,
Yeah.
oh, someone's going to go run over people in their car because they did it on a cartoon.
Yeah, like so.
This actually looks scary.
What really freaked me out was I watched the body cam footage of the police officers when there was the shooting in Nashville at that school.
Yeah.
And when I saw this game, it looked literally identical to that. And I remember having the same exact feeling when I was watching the real video and when I was watching this, like that same disturbed feeling. And I was like, wow, my brain cannot tell the difference between this. And that's what scared me. I was like, wow, what if this really can? Like, I'm not a believer that video games like make kids go out and do these like horrible shootings and stuff. But I don't know about this game. Like, I actually don't want to play this.
Right. It actually looks like I haven't watched this full thing. Like, it doesn't.
They blur the faces of the people, which I was very happy about.
Yeah.
And, but also that helps the video game because that's the one thing that a person can really tell is fake is a person's face.
Yeah.
In a video game. So they intentionally blurred it so that you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But then it's also like plays into the body cam thing because they normally, sometimes they would blur the face of a person in a body cam that they release.
It works.
So I don't know about this. I think this is a bad thing. I do. It's awesome that we have advanced to this, but now it's like let's backtrack.
Right.
Like
now, to take the opposite view, you mentioned football.
Yeah.
I think that could be great because, I mean, you could even almost get away with it perhaps in the same way because now I think it would probably like make you feel disoriented and like you were going to be sick or something because of all the janky movements. But because everybody's wearing a helmet, you wouldn't have to worry so much about seeing
their faces.
Yeah. So it could be used for some fun things and it could I don't know because I feel like I saw people commenting like, "Oh wow, now imagine if we played this in VR." It's like, why would you
want to do that?
At some point, like you're seeing this footage, and you have to think, okay, like, but what's the point of this? Like, why does it need to be this realistic? Is there some benefit to other than like just how impressive it is to do it? And why does it have to be a game where you're shooting people?
Yeah, I know. This was
and again, I'm with you. There's like moral panic stuff about video game. I don't buy any of it, but this is disturbing.
Yeah, this was the first time that and I'm not a big proponent at all of like having there be much regulations on a lot of things. But when I saw this, I was like, dude, like my first reaction was there should be a regulation against having these video games be this realistic.
Like where would you draw the line? People. Where would you draw the line? Would it just be like like the courts would say, like, could a reasonable person off the street look at the footage and think it was real? And if they could, then that's illegal.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even care. Like this is how weird this is. And maybe when you play this game, you'll really be able to feel that it's not real and they've just taken the best clips.
Sure. But this is also very early. Like this is not close to being released yet.
But what's scary is that this is just done with Unreal Engine. 3 or whatever it's called.
5.
5. Yeah, is that what it's on?
I believe
this
we're up
is
to 5
something
now.
that I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
This isn't like any
Crazy.
I just can't believe it.
Absolutely wild. I believe this to be bad news.
Yeah, I do too.
I can't really
don't
think of
this
a
is good.
silver lining for this.
I don't think this is good. I really am scared by this.
I could tell you were worried. You texted me several times at several different days about it.
I've
We'll
been
talk
thinking
about this on the podcast.
I've
okay?
been thinking about this for a week. Every day I think about this. I go and rewatch this to see, is it really as bad as I think it is?
It's like one of those things where you remember the first time you saw it because you didn't think it was.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember being in KB Toys as a kid, and you see Madden on PlayStation 2, and I'm going, wow, that looks real.
Or when you see Shrek. When you see Shrek
Yeah.
for the first time. I remember exactly where I was when I saw the trailer.
If you watch Shrek now, it looks it looks
hilarious.
so hokey. Like Toy Story, I think has basically held up in terms of like the quality even of the first movie, but Shrek looks pretty goofy.
Yeah, it does. I remember the first time that I saw that I saw this.
Sorry we exposed you all to this, but Jordan needed to talk about
I did.
it. All right. Let's get into some deep thoughts.
Yeah, what is this, Josh? You're saying something about people not walking or at all?
I found something truly scary that I just wanted to talk about a little bit. They did a study and they asked a bunch of people, like, what sort of activities do you do? If you exercise, what kind of activities do you do? And so hiking was like the biggest thing. A lot of people, 26% dance, fitness or aerobic or cardio, obviously 34%.
I'm shocked that cycling is 25%.
Yeah,
What
I
are they
was
asking
surprised by
these
that
people?
too. Well, I think if my understanding is correct, they were asking people like, "Hey, do you exercise?" Yes. Okay. What kind of exercise do you do?
Oh, so this could be like a
It's
like
not
a spin
20
bike.
Yeah, sure. And
Okay,
it's
all right.
not like 25% of people. It's 25% of people who exercise.
Okay.
Which leads me to what I'm terrified about. 64% of people do not work out at all.
So they don't do.
Fitness, aerobics, cardio, that covers
that's very
anything.
broad. That's very
Like
broad.
running, jogging is 21%, which kind of surprised me. I figured that'd be more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cycling is higher than running.
That
Come on, that's not. It can't be right.
I mean, maybe people just say, "Yeah, I ride a bike." That's what they. I
That's
think,
true.
I think that the number is probably higher for like the number of people who don't exercise because they're like, in the last year I
That's
rode
true.
a bike one time, but 64% of people don't exercise at all.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, man. But it does. That's sad.
Especially down here in Tennessee.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, every time I think I'm just a judgmental person. But every time I'm just walking around the grocery store with Sarah, I've said this before, I just look around and I look at Sarah and I say, we're not doing so well.
Let me
We're
tell
not
you
doing so
something.
well.
This might have worked better at the good news, bad news. But I mean, we make fun of California a lot and stuff. But when I went to Disneyland a few years ago,
Oh, yeah, it's just
going
different.
to Disneyland versus Disney World,
Yeah.
like the people are so in shape.
Yeah.
In Disneyland, it is wild. Something about
Yeah.
being in California, like the nice weather,
Well, it's
the
also-
mild temperatures. Like people are
yeah.
very active.
It's also like in Florida. When you go to Florida, there's a lot of fit people. When you go to New York, there's a lot of fit people because all they do is walk in New York
Yeah,
City.
right.
And then when you come here, it's like, man, we're just not doing so well.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. Tennessee is up there as one of the least fit.
It's like
states.
Tennessee, Mississippi, and I think
It's
Alabama.
not. Yeah, it's not one of the top ones, but it's like it's
high.
near the top.
Yeah, it's very high.
I watched a great video that was talking about like, hey, if you wanna burn that stubborn belly fat,
That's got to be Athlean X.
No, it wasn't that guy. It was another guy. I forget
Okay.
what his name is. It was like, here's the exercise that you do. And it was a little clickbaity, but the answer was actually I agreed with the answer. And he said just walk.
Yeah, and everyone thinks it's crunches, which is it's not.
He was saying, even running, like sure, yeah, if you run consistently, you will lose belly fat. But you're not going to run consistently, let's be real. Just walk. Because if you walk every day, which is easy to do, because you don't have to think, "Oh, I got to go walk." Because you're not even hardly getting your heart rate up, but just getting
that motion.
Getting that motion, it's something you can commit to. So anyways, and I have found that to be true. Most of when I lost a bunch of weight, I have certainly been running more.
Oh yeah.
But I walk a lot. I walk a lot. And honestly, at this point, I really don't run that much at all. I run enough so that I can, because I got in shape enough running so that I could run a half marathon. So now I'm at that point where, okay, as long as I run like once every 2 or 3 weeks, I can stay in shape enough as long as I'm walking all the time that I can keep doing a half marathon. And not like an improve a half marathon, but just like do it, which is just like for me, is just that's the goal. I'm not trying to like race. I just want to know I can run 13 miles.
Yeah, and walking really is amazing because when I was walking every single day when I had my dog Chance before he passed away, I would walk with him every single day for 2 or 3 miles. Every day for months. And I never ran, and I always wanted to be able to run an under 6-minute mile. I've wanted to do that once for ever since I was able to run around our neighborhood by myself. Never could do it. Even when I was, top fitness in college and all this stuff, never could do it. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I just ran one day. I was like, dude, I'm just going to run and see how fast I can do it. I ran 5 minutes and 59-second mile.
Okay, but you cycle too, though. So you have...
No, I wasn't cycling then. I was literally just walking.
But you have cycled in the past.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my physical fitness is good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I had not trained. I hadn't trained running in years, and I hadn't cycled in like a long time because I had gotten hurt, and I had even hurt my ankle. And after I'd hurt my ankle, and then I was walking on top, I was able to come back and run 5-minute 59-second mile. First time ever.
That's insane. I think the fastest I've ever run a mile was like 7:30 or maybe 7:20, but
you just feel like you're sprinting?
When I was like, that's when I was like, all right, let me see how fast I can do it. Not like on a longer run. Now I just try to run. Yeah, I run longer distances.
Dude, I mean, it was
Dude, that's
nuts.
Wild.
It felt like, and a lot of people can just do that in their sleep, but that was just like a all-out sprint.
Anything
for a mile.
Anything under 7 minutes, I feel like is a miracle. Like you are crushing it to go that fast for a mile. That's not insignificant. Good job.
One time, and literally, I told
you did that.
No, I told myself after I got done with that, I told Sarah, I was like, I am never going to do that again. I don't have a desire to run that fast ever again. I just wanted to do that one time in my life and to know if I could do it under 6, and I was able to do it. And I will never do that again. I have no desire.
Now I want to, because I haven't run in a while. I think I ran one time since the last half marathon.
Don't hurt yourself, because I'll tell you what, that was a...
Yeah, that's always the thing. I'm so used to walking, because I have a treadmill desk. That's how I walk so much. I walk while I edit. And I'm always just so paranoid of hurting my feet. Because if I hurt my feet, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like a risk-reward thing when you're getting older.
That's why I like to walk more than run, because you have more of a chance of hurting yourself if you're running. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Deep thoughts? Is that where we're at?
No. Now you have a deep thought.
Oh, sorry. We are at deep thoughts. So I didn't want to give this away, Josh. So I put HET.
Yeah, what you got going on?
So have you heard of Okay, so I don't know what...
This is going to be good.
I don't know what you believe about some stuff.
Okay.
But have you ever heard about when the moon landing happened?
Okay, I was like, this could go in so many directions.
When the moon landing happened,
landing, sure, okay.
Maybe. I think that it happened. I don't know what you think, Josh. But
I'm not sure I believe you the way that you brought this up.
No, but they said that the people said when they hit the moon that it rang like a bell. And they were so shocked by it. Like when the lander hit, it was like ding, like it was like it was hollow. Okay. And that's what they reported. They were like
hollow moon theory?
No, it's hollow earth theory.
Oh, so people have been commenting for a couple weeks now. He's going to talk about hollow earth theory.
I forgot. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was going to talk about it last week, but I got caught up in my whole theory about the pyramids and AI. So now we're back to hollow earth theory.
Okay.
So, that's a lot of people actually believe that the moon is hollow for that reason, because it makes no sense that it would ring like that. And there's been reports of this. But now, Josh, have you ever heard of hollow earth theory? Is that something that you've heard of?
It's just from the comments on last
Really?
post.
Oh, this is great. I get to introduce you to it.
Okay, go ahead.
So hollow earth theory is this theory that the earth is actually hollow. And
no.
I know.
Are you sure?
And there's people that live inside of the earth. And even if you don't believe that, there is water, there is land, there's animals.
Yeah, that's where hell is.
Well, Josh, that is where hell is. No, this is where it all comes together. There's been, the Christians believe in a hell. Then there's other religions that believe in some kind of like place in the earth. So that's where a lot of like ancients have believed this. And so it's like, oh, well, we're smarter than these people, so we don't believe that. Well, some people do, Josh. And it gets
not you though.
No, it gets a little wacky because there's like this whole conspiracy that now Josh, the guy who discovered Halley's Comet, he believed this. Okay, so this isn't just like these weird fringe
Halley's hollow comet.
Halley's hollow comet. Yeah, so this isn't like, I don't want you to believe that this just came from like a bunch of weirdos. This was like a scientist.
Came from the guy who saw a comet one time.
Yes, it came from him. And there was an admiral in the I guess in the arm. I'm going to completely butcher this, but in the military, an admiral. That's the Navy.
You could say anything right now, and I would be like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So an admiral.
There was an admiral who like they took some flights over the North Pole, and he claims that he saw a city and people, and then when he came back, like in a hole.
Oh, there was a hole in the ground.
There was a hole.
They
were looking for it.
Okay.
And then the government came back when he went to them. And they were like, "Hey, don't talk about this."
Okay.
And so if you look
you sound crazy.
You sound insane. So
I did. I saw the city.
Shut up.
Just don't talk about.
Just be quiet. We're trying to.
I mean, that could really be two different kinds.
We're trying to go to the moon. No, so that's the theory. It's a little wacky, and also, Josh, they believe that if you look on Google Maps, that you can look at the place where it should be, and it looks weird. Like they've
the place where what should be
the hole. They've made.
Oh, there's actually a and the North Pole.
Yes, but they've like altered.
Oh, so there's a hole, and that's where the people go in and come out.
They don't go. Well, they think that that's where UFOs are.
This is like that movie Us. Did you see Us?
No, I didn't see that.
It's kind of like that. But I won't give anything. I don't want to give it away.
Well, people think that they're a lot more advanced in the hole than we are, and there's actually like a sun in there. That they're way more advanced in there, and so they're coming out constantly not wanting us to do nuclear war, and so that's why the aliens and these UFOs are flying around. They're kind of surveilling us to make sure we're not going to blow each other up.
Wow, all right.
It's weird.
That was everything I was hoping and more.
And there's a whole conspiracy that the government knows, and they're trying to hide it. So on Google Maps, there's like a thing where you can't see the hole because they don't want people to know. They want to be in control. They don't want you to know.
Are they not in control if there's a hole in the ground?
If you can get into the hole.
Oh, to escape
the Matrix. All
right. So you think this theory is more thought out or less thought out than flat Earth?
Way less thought out.
Okay.
I think that
it seemed like there was just some anecdotes this time, but flat Earth, they've really thought it through.
Oh, they've got an answer for everything. At Hollow Earth, they don't have an answer for everything, as far as I know. Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts. I always wonder, like, how much of life is the same as when we were kids?
Yes.
How much do things change? And I had a nice little reminder this week that things are very similar in a lot of ways. In ways
Convince me.
So I think I'm going to tell you a very simple story, and I think that it's going to
change my life.
No, but I think you're going to find more hope in it than
bad news.
Yeah. When I take the kids to the park,
okay,
there's always some little girl who just becomes friends with the boys, and she is just in charge, and she's nice about it, but she is in control of what is happening. And Isaac and Elliot just follow her around, do whatever she says, and they have a great time. And that rings so true to me, because I'm like, that is what it's like to be a kid. There's just always some girl, and she just tells you what's going to happen.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying. I don't know. Does that not give you?
Saying.
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. I don't know how to like justify it or like explain it better if you don't. If that
I know what you
doesn't-
mean. Yeah, I got the visualization in my head of who you're talking about.
Like
when we
there's,
were kids.
I don't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's just a very normal, natural part of
Okay.
life. Is that like
There's that one bossy girl who's who's nice though and just tells you what to do.
I don't mean that she's even bossy or like oh she's controlling. I'm really not saying that. I'm just saying that there is something to like they always say like girls mature faster than boys or whatever.
Yeah.
I think even as little kids, and just the idea of like the boys just like chasing the girls. You know what I mean? Like it's just funny to me. Like I just remember that from when I was little. So I was just wondering because these kids now they've got like smartphones, they got all this entertainment, all this stuff, but it's just funny when they go to the park. There's just a natural order to things, and the natural order is there's the boys chase the girls around, and the girls are just very happy with that arrangement. And it's just it's funny watching Isaac just run around, just like, and she's like, no, we're gonna play with this. He's like, all right, and then he's never like
What
that.
are we doing now?
He's never like that ever for anything, but for some reason on the playground, that's just what it is. That's all I had to say.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, all right. What about you?
That did give me hope this week.
What do you got?
So I know we all wait for my gym story, Josh. I don't
Every
have a
week.
gym story, but I do have an outdoor gym story. I
God.
found this adult gym outside at this park near my house, and I've been going there all the time. It's got this awesome pull-up bar. It's got all this neat stuff. So I've been having a blast. Well, I went there, and there was not a couple, Josh, but I'm sitting here assessing the situation.
A throuple?
I don't know what that is.
I won't tell you.
Thank you. Keep my innocence for just one more day. Just one more day. So these people are talking. It turns out they're both married to different people.
Okay.
But they work together.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're nurses or something or PAs. I'm not sure. But they gave me that vibe.
Okay.
And the guy seemed like he had a Christian background. Kind of fallen away from it as he got older.
you could just tell.
Oh, dude. 100%.
Okay.
He's trying to figure out his life now. But what gave me hope was just how freely, even with just a random dude. This is not a big park. This is not a big adult gym. Even with just me being there, they were just talking like nobody was there. It was like I could have written everything down, posted it on. I mean, he was saying some stuff that was like, dude, why are you saying this? Like, I'm right here. I would never say that. He was like, I'm sorry if I'm not. I won't give a description of you, but he was like, she said, so what's been going on with you recently? And he was like, a lot actually. And she's like, good things. He was like, no, terrible things. I've hit a lot of milestones. It's been terrible. I got drunk for the first time last night. He was like, it's not something I'm proud of at all. Like, it's not. I just hung out with the wrong people. We were on a pedal tavern downtown. Just hung out with the wrong people. He's like, I'm just not going to hang out with those guys again. I'm just not going to hang out with them again. He was like, and you know what? I felt
A bunch of dudes on a pedal tavern?
it was something weird. I was like, what are you doing? Isn't that for like bachelorette parties? Some of the girls are telling you to get on that.
Come on, let's do it.
So he was like, he said, I learned a lot from that though, because I was always super judgmental about people who had gotten drunk one time before. But he said, now I kind of realize how it can just happen.
It can happen to the
It can
pedal
happen
tavernist
it can
of us.
happen to the best of us. That's what he was saying, and I could tell it had altered his reality in some way, and he was trying to make sense of how he had judged other people.
Yeah.
When he was a kid.
Wow.
And I could relate to that, other than that I haven't ever gotten drunk, but like still, I appreciated his self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I did a couple pull-ups, walked away. But it gave me a little bit of hope for some reason that somebody out there was thinking critically about something that had significant happened in their life, and it didn't just destroy them.
Yeah.
He didn't let his
tried
bad
to think
mistake
it through. Yeah.
He didn't let his mistake destroy him.
I'm going to go all the way back to what we were talking about, giving the newlyweds advice. What you described, what that guy did, I think that is what I am talking about when I say like, and what you say about learning to listen and communicate, because there's just some level, some like self-awareness level that says, okay, why why am I reacting the way that I am right now?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Because it's harder to do that when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to know somebody really well and you can sit there and be like, why, when she says that, do I have this reaction immediately? Okay. I'm still right here, but it's wrong that I'm reacting this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you realize half the time you're wrong anyway. So that was good. I feel like your It Gave Me Hope This Week stories are always just you eavesdropping.
Oh, 100%. I'm the biggest eavesdropper out there
It gave
at the
me
gym.
Dropping no eaves. I love that. I can't wait to hear what you heard next week. All right. We've got a very special rank you very much this week. Here we go. All right, Jordan, not sure if you saw this. Did you hear that the new Christopher Nolan movie, Oppenheimer, earned an R rating? It's going to be Christopher Nolan's first R-rated movie in 20 years.
Let's do it.
And that's what I said. I was like,
I'm ready for it.
Well, it's a movie about the guy who developed the nuclear bomb. And my question became...
Oh, I'm going to bring this back to this later.
Okay.
Remind me.
Okay.
In my recommended section.
Oh, okay. My question became, what? Right? How would you do a Christopher Nolan epic PG-13 movie?
You can't.
About the nuclear bomb. You have to see the horror.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I'm hoping that the R rating is for.
Have you read what is it called? But the book, everyone's gonna know it. The book about comment below if you remember, because I can't remember. The book about the bomb dropping in Japan. Did you read that? Have you read that? Oh, okay. It's very disturbing. It was from the perspective of somebody who actually survived. I think it actually is a real book.
I saw
a real life story.
I saw an animation that was taken from that book. Like they animated the descriptions that it used.
Yeah,
I believe. I watched it. It was like one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. Even like in that like anime style that it was using.
I'll have to find that. Yeah, it was a very disturbing book. I can't believe I can't remember the name of the book. Whatever. I
want this movie to be good, and I also want to be disturbed by it in a way that makes me unlikely to like watch it again. But that's how if you're gonna make a movie about this subject, that's kind of how I want it to be. I don't want to like enjoy it necessarily.
Yeah. Well, so is it actually going to go into the bomb dropping or just the guy who developed it?
I don't know. I've really tried not to look too much.
Okay. Well, if it's got an R-rated movie, it's probably going to have that.
I don't think it'll just be like, oh, he decided to use the F word in this script. No. It's gonna. There's a reason, and I mean, especially for him because it's a risk to put out an R-rated movie because he makes so much money for the studio. So, anyway, so it got me thinking, Jordan. One, I'm very excited about that movie, but two, I wanted us to rank. Give me your top three. What are your top three favorite Christopher Nolan
first,
movies?
I will guess yours because I guarantee you I can guess yours.
Okay,
and then you try and guess mine. How about you guess mine first?
Okay,
I can give you the top two at least.
The top two.
Yeah.
All right.
And it'll be surprising to you, but you'll realize I'm right.
Okay, go ahead and give me my top two.
Your top one is going to be The Prestige.
That's right.
Your second one, you're like, well, should my second one be The Dark Knight or should it be Inception? And you're gonna go with Inception.
No, but I
really
that is the argument I was kind of having.
Okay,
I would have gone. I think I'm gonna go with Interstellar for my.
Oh, okay,
second.
All right, okay. I didn't think that was gonna be on your list. I didn't.
I rewatched it in the last year or so, and
I remember you not kind of.
I know, but that's the thing. Like every time I watched it the first time in theaters, and I liked it, and then I got out of the theater, and I kind of talked myself into not liking it. Then I saw it one more time in the theater, and I was like, no, that's a great movie, and then I forgot about it.
Oh.
And so then I watched it again now several years later, and I was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. It's so good. So The Prestige, I mean, I think that in terms of like the kind of movie that Christopher Nolan makes is just the best one he's made in terms of like the characters are interesting, but also there's just really good twist. Funny story about when I saw this movie. There's a specific twist that happens about halfway through the movie, and the fire alarm went off right after that twist happens. Mm-hmm. When I saw it in the theaters back in 2006.
So the fire alarm went off in the theater that you were watching.
And so we had to be evacuated, and they gave us a free ticket to go back and see it.
Oh.
So the second time, I know what the twist is in my head, so I'm watching it as a completely different experience. But then there's another twist at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And so then the third time I saw it, it was like watching a completely different movie for a third time. That's why I love that movie. And it makes sense. It makes sense if you don't know what's going on. It makes sense if you only know half of what's going on. Then it makes sense if you know the whole thing.
That's funny.
It gets better every time. Interstellar is, I think, just in terms of epic, it's one of his best movies. I think that the third one I'm going to pick, it's a toss-up between Memento and The Dark Knight. I mean, The Dark Knight is just so classic, but I really do like Memento. Do you know anything about Memento?
I think I might have tried to watch it and fell asleep. I don't remember.
It happens in reverse. Because he has short-term memory loss, and so you see the end of the movie first, and it goes all the way back to the beginning of the movie. It's such an interesting way to tell a story, and there is a twist ending too, which is actually the beginning of the movie, but it happens at the end. So, okay, what about you?
Interstellar is my top one.
Nice,
but it's just
I didn't know that.
Well, it's just because it's about space.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't think when I'm watching these, it's just like what gives me the best feeling.
Yeah,
Interstellar, I would watch that 1,000,000 times. And then The Dark Knight, just purely from just classic, and that's how I rate stuff in my life.
We saw that movie 4 times in theater. No, I did.
I saw it 3 times.
Yeah, that's right. That's Kelly and I started dating right when it came out, and so I took her one time.
Yeah,
so that was 4 for me.
I haven't seen all of these. I haven't seen all these movies. Dunkirk, I saw. It was okay. I don't remember.
Did you like Tenet?
No, I didn't. I hated that movie.
I hated it too.
I remember I saw that movie before you.
Yeah.
Because that was when all the COVID stuff was going on, all the lockdowns.
You saw it in theaters.
I was in
You went out into the
middle
movies.
of nowhere and I watched this movie and
You're more dedicated than me.
Well, it's where Sarah's grandparents and stuff are from, so I was out there and I was like, oh dude, I bet this guy is struggling. So I went out to the movie theater and we watched it, Tenet. And yeah, we were like the only ones in the theater. And I remember texting you, I was like, just confused. And you hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, dude, I don't know about this movie, man. And I didn't know how to tell you because I didn't want to break it to you.
Yeah.
Because you were so excited for it.
I was just watching that movie. I was just like
mortified.
In shock the whole time. I was like,
why is
this going to get good?
Why did it happen?
It's just all exposition. It's just people talking about what's going on. The whole freaking movie. I
don't understand it.
I can't believe it.
I don't understand it. So hopefully that was a swing and a miss, and this next new movie is gonna hit it out of the park. So we're very excited about it.
What's your third? You picked.
I don't have a third.
Oh, okay, just those first 2, Interstellar and Dark Knight.
I thought we were just doing 2. If I had to pick a third one, I would have to say The Prestige.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this Oppenheimer is good because Dunkirk I liked okay, Tenet I hated. So we'll see what he does.
We'll see.
All right. Question of the week. Jordan, last week, the question was, would you rather have $1 million right now or $50,000 each year for the rest of your life? We got more comments about this than any. This was a good question to ask the party people. This is what people said. Wildberry of the Green Forest said $50,000 yearly. Assuming taxes were involved, there really wouldn't be much left of the million after the government takes its cut.
Well, we're not saying there's going to be there's a fly in here that's killing me.
Get that fly out of here.
What was the consensus overall?
50,000.
Really?
I think people think they're being smart.
I'm going with. Can I say my answer?
Yeah.
I'm going with $1 million because
That's what I would do too.
Because if I took the mill, I'm trusting that the government is not going to screw up with inflation because it's going crazy.
Right.
50,000. How long is that going to take me to get $1 million?
The people that said $1 million, they all said that. They said, well, I mean, what's $50,000 going to be worth by the time I'm...
Yeah, the $1 million is solely based on my competence with what I can do with $1 million. I'm going to buy 3 rentals.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I don't even care if it takes me a long time. Like, that's going to start your empire.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was a no-brainer
You buy
for me.
like 3 places and you rent them for like $1,000, $1,500. So you're getting like, you get like $4,500 a month.
Yeah.
That's like $50,000 a year.
Quickly, yeah.
Okay? I mean, that's the answer right there. Now, maybe there's a market downturn or something. Worst case scenario, you have to sell the houses. Okay, well, now you got that income.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed like I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Real estate. Real estate.
I think the $50,000 seems cush, but then you're going to realize in like 6 years, like, wait a minute. And people are saying, well, you could just constantly put the money into savings and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. I just don't trust any of it.
Right.
I don't trust any of it.
Yeah. Like, if I won the lottery and you could take that smaller lump sum or get money every year, I'm like, just give me the money. I don't trust you.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You're running a gambling operation.
You're going to give it to me right now? Yeah, give it to me right now. Are you going to exist? Like in 10 years?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just taking the money and gonna invest
As
it.
much as you'll give me immediately, that's what I'm gonna
like
take.
even like you win $500 million, and all right, we'll give you that money over the course of the next 30 years, or we'll give you $200 million right now. I'll be like, give me the $200 million right now. That's more money than
100%.
I'll ever need.
Yeah, like, and it's guaranteed.
Yeah,
and
then even given that you're gonna lose half of it, so you're only getting $100 million, but still, it's like, okay,
you bought a card. You bought a card and got $100 million.
I shouldn't have this.
Yeah, this shouldn't have happened.
Okay, this week's question is a spicy one, so let us know in the comments. This is going to be fun next week. What is the appropriate age to get your first smartphone? Inquiring minds want to know.
We recommend. Jordan, you wanted to bring up something about the nuclear bomb
so
when we're recommending things?
I've been reading The Wright Brothers by David McCullough.
Mm.
This is my recommend. If you don't know this story, dude, I'm telling you, I'm into conspiracies. There is a conspiracy behind why this has not been a major motion picture. This movie, this book makes the government just look like idiots.
Oh, you know I love that.
There's no way. When was the last time you watched a huge movie that there was no redemption for the government at all? There's no way to spin this.
I know.
There's no way to spin this story. It was so inspiring that it was just basically two homeschooled dudes, completely self-educated, who were building a plane at the exact same time that the government was dumping back then just an insane amount of money to develop their own plane. Theirs completely failed, and then like 3 days later, the Wright brothers were successful and started their journey to being able to successfully fly, and nobody cared. Nobody cared, and it's an incredible story. I mean, like, seriously, you should read it. But it's an amazing tale.
It's one of my credits. I really should.
I know. You should.
And
it's a great story.
I know we mentioned this a lot, but in case you didn't know, these guys are our fifth cousins.
Oh yeah, I should have. So that's why I was reading it. I'm amazed. I've never really read this book before or know too much about them. But yeah, this has been amazing. And Orville. There's Orville and Wilbur, but I think Orville, he said that he thought when they developed the airplane that it would stop all wars. Because but in a way, he's kind of right, if you think about it, because that's what led to the development of like the nuclear bomb and all this stuff was like, hey, now we can nuke somebody, and it has made everybody kind of like, hey, it's not like it was back a long. I still think it's maybe worse than it was a long time ago, but it's like people are more scared to do stuff because the big countries have these capabilities. Hey, we can just blow everybody up.
I just realized how funny my recommendation is because I want to recommend an album called War All the Time.
Yeah.
Jordan,
what is that?
Do you remember in the early 2000s, there was a lot of like anti-consumer, like anti-media. I feel like all like the bands that we liked were all talking about like, oh, TV's going to kill you. And
Yeah.
Don't get these phones and corporations are evil. And it was a great time because those are all very true statements.
But then they all got paid by them.
That's right. And it's gone away. Well, anyways, one of the best ones was an album called War All the Time by Thursday. Just a very like...
Why have I never heard of this band?
I've played it a lot growing up. So this is the only band that I walked into in Hot Topic one day and I heard, I was like, what is this? And I had to find out. It's a band called Thursday.
I'll have to check that out. I don't remember that at all.
It's the kind of music you would like to.
Okay.
It's a little screamy, kind of emo, singy, screamy.
That's what we die for here.
I know. We always live for it. So there you go. The Wright Brothers by David McCullough and Thursday, War All the Time. Okay. Jordan.
It's another episode in the books.
Oh, man.
The 5th one.
I really like doing this show.
I do too. Josh and I, let's see if people can figure out who edits the videos. Josh and I swap off. One video I edit, the next video he edits, and we've been doing that this entire time. So see if you can figure out the edit pattern here.
I think it makes the show even more fun that we do that because once every 2 weeks I get to I've forgotten what we talked about, and
Yeah.
so I get to watch. It's as if I'm watching it just like anybody else.
That's
I'm like,
true.
oh, this is fun.
It inspires you a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like you get a little bit of learning, the ins and outs of how to edit a show like this, and then you also get the privilege of watching one
Yeah.
without having done it yourself and say, I liked how he did this, or I think I might do this a little bit differently.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, with yours, I'm just like, this is great. This is great.
Well, thank you.
This is great. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Well, let's see if you guys can figure out who
edited this one?
Who edited this one?
Okay.
I think I already said who edited it. Thank you guys so much
you?
for watching. I think I did.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.